Welcome back, guys. So today in this video, my goal is to allow for people to understand the various strategies in using the Intrepid Explorer app, how to look at the readings, like a high score or a low score, and how to think about it. There's various nuances here. So the goal in this video is to try to clarify some of the nuances and some of the understanding of where the value comes from, those kind of things regarding the app. So we're going to look at several different approaches here, but like what this is going to look at first is what exactly the bot is rating, like how it's looking at it, what is it rating, what is a high score, what is a neutral score, what is a low score. Then we're going to say like, what that means exactly. And then we're going to look at other various nuances in that what is considered information that's part of the data set that the bot uses to come up with its decisions. And then even with all of that considered, how you're entering the market affects performance, etc. So what does that mean? Those are the things we're going to cover. So now in the cryptocurrency market, what this yellow line here represents is the kind of overall average performance of the crypto market. You're going to have projects all over the place, and they're going to fall low, they're going to fall high. You're going to have projects all along the spectrum of performance. And you like this, this application automatically goes to the eraser. I don't know why it does that. Anyways, it goes to you'll have some average performance. The bot looks at all of these projects and it looks at the best, strongest performers. This is what we want. We want to know, like we take the data for the performers. We take the data for all of these projects. We take the data for all of them. And what we do is we come up with an information set for the winners, the average, and the weak performers. And what we do is we say, what did they look like before they performed? This is key to understanding what the bot is doing. It's saying, we're looking at this point. This is what we care about. This is the point we care about. We actually don't care about this point that much. Or actually, we actually do care about this for the new information at entry today. If we're entering today, at any given point, this is where the nuance comes from. When are you entering the market? Because you could be entering here, and that's a different data set. That's going to have a different winner set. This one's going to have a different winner set, etc. And over the long run, we want to think in terms of long run, because that typically is like the best correlations, and it'll show for us to pick the projects today, which ones we want to pick today based on what they look like at the beginning when you enter the market. What did they look like before they performed? That's what we're looking at. So when we look at projects today, do they look like what was a winner before? Because we want to enter before the performance. We don't want to enter now. Oh, look, like this thing's been winning, right? No, like we want to enter something that correlates with this point being this point. Okay, that is what we care about. So once again, we are attempting to pick up projects today that look like what produced the winners over the time interval. So when you're the bot is making the assumption that you're entering the market today, right now. That is why there's a bunch of variation and why these projects change. Because it's saying today, we are entering today. That is what the bot is saying. Like it's making the assumption that today it's the day that you're buying. It's not saying something to hold or sell. That this is the only information that the bot is trying to clarify is what looks like the best today based on what they look like before they performed. All right, so I'm hoping to make that clear. So what this means, if it was down as a correlative aspect, the bot will spot it. So what this means is, let's say this is the projects before, and then we're starting today, the entry point today, right? This is what we care about. These reds, imagine that these reds are the strong performers. I have like the reds here shown as the reds performing poorly here. Now, this is not necessarily what's true. In reality, we often see the winners continue to win. So the winners often go like this, and then they continue to win because often the winners continue to win. But what I'm saying is if the strong performers end up being a correlative, see they're better than average performance here, but they're poor performance here, right? So if that correlative is there, we'll spot it here, and the bot will give it a poor rating. So if this is so if you see this data set, it's imagine that the bot is looking at it right here for this data set. It's looking at what correlatives equal entry right now will correlate best with performance. That's what the bot is doing. Okay. So this is just market data, particularly that I'm looking at. Like this is just a hypothetical market data, and so maybe the strong performers will be the ones that were poor performers, right? This is just saying specific market data that we take into consideration for the math. This is kind of hypothetically what it would look like. So now also we look at non-market forces like PhD number, the number of PhDs inside the project, the ratio of PhDs to the number of people, etc. Various different aspects that we look at, and we find correlatives there for these non-market forces, these other metrics. Like they could be anything, like the number of developers, the number of whatever, the number of funding compared to the market cap, etc. So we look at those and say if it's, we'll see things higher than average or normal or whatever the correlative pattern is. For the winners is what will get higher scores. Whatever the correlative for lower numbers will get lower scores, or it'll dock from the overall score. So these are how the fundamentals, the bot built on fundamentals will look at projects here and say what fundamentals led to price performance here. And then when you're buying today, what projects look like that, what projects look like this today, because that's what it's trying to pick. It's saying these are the aspects that led to good results. So projects that look like that, considering market forces, considering fundamentals, looking at all those things, and that's where the strongest projects come with the bot's guess. Now, finally, how you enter the market is important. So there's several different strategies: a one-time entry at a low market movement, a one-time entry at a high market movement, or dollar cost average. Now, the bot strategy is looking at dollar cost average because the bot is making the assumption that you're entering today. The score is looking at projects today. And if you were to buy a project right now, the bot is saying, okay, so this is what we think, like based on back here, what correlates to performance on this time interval, for the 1 month, 3 month, the year, for the 8 all-time performance. All-time is deprecated by daily, whatever. I don't want to get too much in the nuance, but it's saying what looks like the best winners today to enter, and so it uses this dollar cost average. Now, out of total, if you're doing a dollar cost average entry, your total amount in APY is going to be lower because, it's because you don't have the advantage of time, and let's say it's a bullish market or a bearish market. Your performance isn't going to be as bad as in a bear market as someone who entered a long time ago, and your performance is not going to be as good with the total amount invested in a bull market because you have less time in the market. That's what DCA means. There's less time, so the amount that's in considers like some less time intervals, whereas these have more time in the market. So time in the market generally is going to be a performer. So what you want to do is look at the bot, and this is, regardless of market conditions, if you can invest, you want to invest early. You don't want to wait. You might want to wait for a pullback, sure. If this could be your income, and that's the only reason you do dollar cost average. And that's also why I built this bot, because I built this bot for those who have jobs. The goal is to make it easy for people to understand what are the winners. And so people who have jobs, they are going to do the dollar cost average because they don't have all their money up front. But what history teaches us is often entering with your position, the amount invested does well with time invested. Time in the market usually beats everything else. But obviously you don't want to be entering when things are super bullish, etc. When people are going crazy with hype. But the reason, like dollar cost average is going to show like a lower performance. And when I have a matrix that analyzes performance, it looks something like this because the bot is making an assumption of weights on daily because it's trying to make the best guess. I'm looking for if you're entering today, what is the highest probability that you're going to be happy with the amount that you invested today? That's what the bot is saying. So it's basically saying from a probabilistic standpoint, you invest today. We want you to be happy with you entering today. So the bot is looking for what will lead to the best results of you being happy with the amount that is invested today. That's something I'm trying to make clear by making this video. However, I did look at for the amounts invested for entry of this dollar cost average over the same time interval for the low and the high, it will be, like a dollar cost average position will be averaged. It's this little white line. So this is dollar cost position 1, 2, and 3. If you were to sum this amount, total amount in, and look at where it becomes, it would be somewhere average between a low or high entry, but you still see that the performance goes, it'll be this distance from here, right? And this distance for here for each one of these. That gives you, what the performance was. And it'll be an average position between these two entries. But once again, time in the market usually wins. So if you do have amount that you can lose, that you can afford to lose, it's always better to invest up front. And the bot's goal is to basically say, try to make you happy with entering today. So the best way to use the bot, in my opinion, is do this, the dollar cost average strategy with the amount of money that you have that you can afford to lose, and just pick various projects that the bot picks. Anything can be possible. This is crypto, but it is attempting to make you clear that these are the strongest performers, and at the very least, allow to provide you, like with these projects, we provide you all the information so you can do your own research. You can look at the strong positions that have the characteristics of being winners and do the research today, because we have all the research in there. And if you need to find other stuff on the web, you can, but it has most of the work done for you automatically. So anyways, I hope this clarifies some strategy nuances and some of the bot's information nuances, so that you know how to use this tool. And obviously, we're in an iterative process, which means that I'm analyzing the matrices, which means I'm looking at various different strategies and looking for the highest DCA strategy, meaning with any given day that you enter the market, that you'll be happy with that decision to enter today. And so, but once again, people are going to have different results. Just even if they enter in like some market high and some market low, just from entry, there will be results all over the place because the market does crazy stuff. Some of these projects skyrocket and they pull back. And so those are things to consider. But we do know that overall, you want to enter strong projects with these good correlatives and have time in the market, and that's going to get you the best results. All right, so hopefully that clarifies some things about the bot. All right, later, guys.